Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Suzerain 2.0, where we are digging an ever-increasing hole. Okay, not that's not true. Not ever-increasing. We plugged a gap in it last stream, last episode. We had a +1 budget, so we're working. Fuck's sake! Oh, we're so fucked. Sure, let's inspect schools in Laren. As part of the planned program, we arrived in Laren to visit middle school. The prestigious Torren Hill School was situated close to the suburbs just outside of the city center. The building was flanked by two hills, each beautifully dotted with shrubs and flowers. Lucian and Chiara and I got out of our cars and met at the entrance. Our presence had not gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there were at least 10 reporters following us around. That must be the principal. Right this way, sir. The principal was a man of short stature with a bushy mustache and a pair of glasses. He approached us quickly, but was stopped by the security guards. They started patting him down and searching him. That wouldn't be necessary to let him through. Mr. President, such an honor to meet you. Yeah, shake his hand. No need to smile for the cameras. Welcome to our humble school. Sorry about the security guards, it's a necessity, standard procedure. Excellent, you must be Mr. Galat. It is a pleasure to meet you. And Miss Walda, so good of you to come all the way out here. Thank you. At the entrance, the school's motto was inscribed on the wall with giant letters. In Stratton sees her Anginikar av Gerina int olla Almergulet int olla Mexis, whatever the fuck that means. Education is the premise of progress in all societies, in all families. We walked through the gates. There were many students lined up in front of the stairs of the main building. As we entered, the students started singing the national anthem. The principal proudly looked at them. Marvelous, my dear students. After the anthem finished, all of the students immediately snapped to attention and turned to me. Looks more like a military institution than a school. Exactly, that's what we pride ourselves on. That's not something to pride yourself on. Discipline has the most important in our school. That wasn't a compliment, mate. We need more educated people, not soldiers. On that, we are aligned. I can assure you that our students are very well educated. In fact, our school is one of the top 10 middle schools in all of Swordland. Now we will watch the students take their daily student oath. Gotta love that nationalism. Fucking bullshit. Boy and the girl went up to the stage and grabbed our microphones. Then students turned to them. Okay, I can't piss off the conservatives too much. I need their votes to pass the amendment. Yeah, fuck. I am a sword, my strength lies in my blood. I will respect our honorable elders, I will protect the young. My life belongs to Swordland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the guiding light of Cornel Sol and the great swords. Amogane Westcore Vector Sista. Sure, let's nod. Let's not just ignore them. Words to remember. What? No one even remembers it after they graduate. If you wish to follow me, we will take a look on one of our classrooms. Through the hallways, we made our way to classroom 7A. As soon as I entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped to attention. Sit down, please. Students sat down. The same boy and girl walked up to us. These are our top students and our top class. This here is my son. The boy came before me and saluted me like a military officer. Tell Mr. President what you want to be. Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I'm ready to sacrifice myself for my country and you, sir. Kid, chill the fuck out. This is way too much. This is nonsense. What are you teaching to these students? The president looked extremely surprised. Was it not to your liking? I'm sorry, Mr. President. The cameras flashed. It's simply ridiculous. You're raising soldiers here, not students. I'm so sorry. We will immediately perform disciplinary actions. The disciplinary action here is you get fired. How about you, young lady? What do you think about this? She's our top student in this school. Her excellent grades are to... Didn't talk to you. Didn't ask you. Exactly. She bent down and gently addressed the young student. What do you think about your school, just between us girls? I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I have to take these stupid handcraft classes? Do you know who you're talking to? Shut up, let her speak. Kara's presence has emboldened the girl. She went on. My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they won't let me take the classes I want just because I'm a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. You heard her, Mr. Principal. You will make necessary changes at once. As you wish, sir, at once. I will personally check back and ensure that changes are made. Yes, sir. The cameras flashed once again. I looked around the classroom and saw a large portrait of Colonel Sol. Okay, I'm not gonna take it down this time. I cannot piss off the Solists. Don't say anything. I want to take it down, but I cannot piss off the Solists. Well then, unfortunately we are almost out of time. We have other meetings to attend to today. Thank you for the warm welcome. Mr. President Lucian, please go ahead. I'd like to speak with the girl alone. Very well. Thank you for visiting our school, sir. Come on, class. 1, 2. All students in costume yelled, but the boy whom I met was the loudest. Morgana West. Did you learn nothing from the chastising you just got in front of cameras? To insist that. After another round of photos, we departed. Fuck's sake. Newest wine. Wait, what did that say? Fuck. It said something about sending a message. Ah, fuck. Internal security pack advocates the solution of Meftium ITZ. Okay, let's talk about education, shall we? We were still in Laren, staring at Modest's guest house for state employees. Kara set up a meeting with me and Lucian to go over her plans for education reform after our school visit. Lucian was seated across from me at the table, going through documents. Kara entered the room. After the visit yesterday, I couldn't even sleep thinking about that little boy and girl. I have never been more sure of my intention to reform our education system. Lucian took off his reading glasses and put it on the table. I agree, an education reform is necessary. Exactly. Those students have to repeat the same soulless propaganda every single day. They are being brainwashed at an age when their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls are denied the same opportunity as boys. They're forced into the role of housewife before they even reach puberty. Nothing's changed since I went to school. Women like me, Leleas, Nia, even your wife, we had to study twice as hard to receive the same university education that you and Lucian took for granted. Is that the kind of country you want your daughter to grow up in? Mr. President, we need to change. We need to free the minds of these young people. They are our future. Yes, we do. What do we need to do for an education reform? We need to keep politics out of the curriculum. Sol should only be viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. This is actively poisoning young bright minds instead of thinking for themselves. They're learning to take things at a face value. We also need to ensure boys and girls receive the same instruction. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes or not at all. Exactly. I think it should be an optional class for both, because it's a lot of stuff like that is kind of useful that should actually be taught in schools, like doing your taxes, for example. Sorwan's youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. That won't be possible with the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in schools today. Either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future or not. What will it be, Mr. President? We will reform the education system, of course. You will not regret it. I will get to work immediately. Now that the decision was made, let's move on. Very well. Kiara skimmed over her documents before continuing. After the budget increase, the ministry quickly began formulating plans on how to effectively use the money. But before moving forward, the question of keeping education fully state funded or allowing for new private schools remains open. Now, education should remain as a state service only. Certainly, this is the most ideal situation. I agree, the government should be responsible for managing education completely. Private education is inconsistent with our overall economic strategy of planned economy. A few minutes of deliberation passed. We have enough money to improve education in Sorland. We do not need to complicate things further with a privatization incentive. So, what is your decision? Keep education solely a matter of the state. We need to prevent interference from private interests. Will do. That should be it for now. I'll get to work and report back later. This has been a very productive day. I will be returning to Wholesword. Thank you for your time. We dispersed after spending nearly the entire day together. I took a moment simply to breathe the fresh evening air of Laren. I felt calmer here, somehow, but I would have to return to the chaos of Wholesword soon enough. Oh, work never stops. More news from the Contana security point. Another satellite. Glory to the People's Republic. Ministry of Education has started work on education reform. Rural development investment. Let's keep spending. Let's keep spending. New farms. Come on. Sake. Meeting with Gloria Tori on planned reforms. This should go well. I arrived at the Grand National Assembly, which was only a 5-minute drive away from the palace. Today I had a private meeting with Gloria Tori, one of the leading figures of the USP. To get her approval for the proposal, she was also key in reaching 150 signatures to propose the new constitution, as she had extensive control over our party's conservative and moderate wings. As I walked through the corridors of the Grand National Assembly, I was confronted by my memories of the historic building. Despite being a member of Assembly not long ago, it now felt like a distant past. I walked into the left wing of the Assembly, which currently acted as the quarters of the USP. Gloria's office was the first one inside. I knocked on the door and entered. Good morning, Mrs. Story. Good to see you, Mr. Rain. It was a small, neatly organized office. There were small figurines, photos, and plants around the place. I had a homey feel, unlike my own assembly office when I had worked there. On her gesture, I took a seat. The chair was very uncomfortable. How are you doing, Mrs. Story? I'm fine, Mr. Rain. How are you? Very happy to see you. It's been a while. Indeed, Mr. President. She smiled. So how does the presidential chair compare to the ones in the Assembly? Not as good as you imagine. I'm sure it doesn't give you back pains the way ours do. Anyway, let's keep this simple, Mr. Ryan. We both know why we are here. You want me to give you my support. I don't see why the backbone of the USP would support your rush reforms. Come on, I made an effort to appease you people. You don't realize they go directly against the wishes of the founder of this party and the state. The reforms are not against anyone. It's all in the name of democracy. In the name of democracy. You'd like the USP to disintegrate, wouldn't you, Mr. Rain? Even though you owe everything to Colonel Soul, I think you never liked him, nor the party he built. There is nothing personal about this, Miss Story. Whatever you intend to do, you will be facing quite an opposition. That's all I can say. You must understand these reforms are a necessity. Let me explain. How? The The USP is a party that knows how to react in changing times. We must lead the nation into the future. That's for the party to decide, not you. I seriously do not know if the Conservatives will be willing to support you at all, especially when you're trying to decrease the electoral threshold. You must know this will mean bringing the Communists into the Assembly. You probably have a deal with either them or maybe the PFJP. Friends seem to be positive about giving your support too. I have no deal with anyone. I don't know how your acts can even be justified inside the USB. Decreasing the threshold to 3% is unacceptable. You will be bringing all of the marginal parties into the Assembly and reducing our majority. I cannot allow you to destroy our party. Either this point is removed entirely or there will be no discussion. Will that ensure your support? I don't know what to say before seeing a commitment from you, Mr. Rain. If it gets the USP in line, I'll remove the threshold. That's a step in the right direction. I must say I like the changes regarding the appointment of ministers. That's one positive aspect. But moving on. It's unbelievable that you are taking away the impunity of the justice. A big mistake. Even though the Assembly is elected by the people, it does not hold enough judicial insight and neutrality to impeach justices. The separation of powers shouldn't be damaged. This is something I cannot accept. I don't see anything democratic here, Mr. President. This will benefit the party. I continue to disagree. So what are you thinking about? Are you ready to make changes to our proposal, or should we keep talking past each other? The story, please try to understand me. I cannot give concessions now. She raised an eyebrow and then took a look at the proposal on her table. Let me give you some advice, Mr. President. Giving yourself the same title as Tarquin Sol will not make you a hero. You'll have not earned that title nor the immunity and the protection it brings. Remove the changes to the Member of Honor laws from the proposal before it becomes public. Let's not damage our party nor your reputation further. This will only bring you ridicule. And there is no way that the Assembly or the Supreme Court will vote for this. You can believe what you will, Miss Story, but just tell me if you'll give me your support or not. You're a stubborn man, but anyway. There is one other way for you to gain my support. Put my name at the top of the list of Supreme Court Justice candidates. In case of vacancy in the Supreme Court, I want to be appointed. I mean, it's better than making a VP. If that's going to assure your support, you have my word. I'll hold you to that promise. I believe I can give you the help you require. She repositions herself on the chair. I do have one condition. I want you to cancel that speech you were planning for your wife at the Penfi Festival. No. Cannot do that. Mayor Leste is not only popular in Benfleet, he's one of the most influential members of the USP's conservative wing. We'd want to upset him, would we? I don't care if he's upset. He's not the only person you would upset, Mr. President, you know that. If you want conservative support, you cannot let the First Lady speak in Mr. Leste's stead. This isn't about her, it's about women's rights. I thought you'd understand. Believe me, I understand more than your wife, even. Tell me, why does she want to do this speech so badly? She wants to give Scottish women a voice. So do I, but this is not the way. I've spent nearly 2 decades in this assembly. I know how real change happens. Real change comes from the people. The old conservative men who hold the power in this government will not listen to Mrs. Rain's speech and suddenly have a change of heart, rather the opposite. They'll see a shrill, hectoring housewife who slept with the president from a spot on that stage and is now hopelessly out of her depth. That is fucking insulting, is what it is. Unfair is not... I wouldn't describe it as unfair, I'd describe it as insulting. Monica's been campaigning for women's rights since I met her. I'm just telling you what others will think. Listen, I do believe the status of women could improve during your administration. Your education minister has been gathering ideas for a bill that appears quite promising. But you've got to have patience. Having Monica speak now will be detrimental for all of us. Just let Mayor Leste have his little moment in the spotlight. His time will be over soon enough. Nope, can't do that. Can't betray my wife. Monica will speak at the festival. Then we are at an impasse. Alright, Mr. President, I'm sorry I won't be able to help you. I wish your luck in the signatures you need. She suddenly stood up. I must get back to work. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. President. She extended her hand to me for a handshake. Shake her hand. No, nothing we can do. This doesn't mean we won't be able to cooperate on other matters. I hope to speak again soon. I left her room. Albin and the reformist wing was my last hope to get the needed 150 signatures for the proposal. Even then, it looked quite uncertain if we could get 166 votes in the assembly. I went inside. Serge drove back to the palace where I met Lucian and told him the bad news. Okay, did I change the proposal? Okay, no, it didn't change since we didn't find a deal. That's good. Sure, let's play some chess with Lucian. Um, I mean, no, I'm sorry, Lucian. I don't have enough time with my family. Okay, let's meet with the reformists. After our meeting with Gloria Tori and further discussion with the party and my cabinet, it was time to talk to Alvin Clavin to get the reformist wing to support the proposal. I also plan to finally present a more fleshed out proposal and declare our agenda to the party after our meeting. I walked into the left wing of the assembly and entered the quarters of the USB. When I reached the meeting hall, I saw many of our members conversing inside. After taking a glimpse inside, I went back into the corridor to look for the office of Alvin Clavin, which was around the back of the place. When I reached his room, I knocked on his door and entered. Mr. President, welcome. The whole room was surrounded by bookshelves packed with files and papers. It was a small office with books and dossiers lying on every corner. It felt claustrophobic. On his gesture, I took a seat. How's everything going, Mr. Clavin? It's been busy. The party has been working very hard, Mr. President. Thank you for asking. How's it going for you in the palace? It depends on our meeting today. Oh, I see. Then I'll try my best not to make it any worse for you, Mr. President. I wanted to express my gratitude for passing the Workers' Rights Act. It's one of my most comprehensive and successful political efforts. It was the right thing to do. Our workers were suffering for decades. Indeed, the people will credit our administration and the party for a positive change in their lives. The businesses will share the burden with the state, but it is a change they have to abide by. Albin smiled and knocked on wood. Anyway, sir, let's talk about the proposal. Thanks for coming here for my input, because there are some subjects where Gloria and I don't see eye to eye. I have to say that most of the progressives were already starting to warm up to you. Your attempt at changing the constitution created quite a bit of excitement. One would dare to say an excitement that hasn't been felt since the 30s. I've already read the proposal you've made. It looks pretty good. No surprise that Mrs. Story didn't give her support. Look, Mr. President, I'm on the same side as you. I won't create any problems. Thank you, Mr. Clevin. Any help from you is much appreciated. He looked down at the proposal. It's looking good. I will support the proposal and get the needed signatures from our wing. I believe the reformist votes that I have will be very important to you. Who knows, maybe you'll consider me for the job in the government in the future for this. But I'll consider you if you prove yourself useful. Oh, you know I will, Mr. President. I'll talk to my guys shortly. I'll have their signatures soon. Thank you, Mr. Clavin. See you at the conference, Mr. President. Left this room and went back into the corridor. The meeting had exhausted me. I went to the restaurant of the assembly to get something to eat while conversing with other members of our party. I saw Albin talking to his people in the distance. After a while, the preparations for the conference began, and I went back to the conference hall and prepared my notes for the speech I was going to make. It took time to get all of the present members to the party inside the hall. Gloria Tori announced me from the stand. I walked up to the stand as everybody in the room started clapping. Brothers and sisters of United Sorland. I came here today the agenda for the future of our country. I started my speech with the reasons of the changes to the Constitution. The people of Sorland have spoken. They blame our institution and our systems and want change. Can you blame the people? Haven't we had enough with the flaws of our constitution? We must listen to their wishes and get their trust in Sorland back. I paused as they started clapping and continued. The USP needs this to survive the next election. I brought to attention the people's protests and the slight decrease in popularity of USP. I explained how our proposal will only be beneficial for everybody. The moderates that sat in the center started applauding. Good. If I can get the moderates, the conservatives can fuck off. Later, I explained the contents of the new constitution and asked for their full support for the proposal. Ask for their votes. I asked for each and every member's vote to make the change together. The reformist wing on the left stood up and started clapping loudly after Alvin Clavin made a sign. I saluted everybody in the room one last time and bid them farewell before leaving the stand. I walked outside the assembly and backed into the palace. Well, will it be enough though? We shall see. Okay, what do we have now? Infrastructure at full capacity in Benfi. Okay, definitely gonna need some investment there. Ministry of Health discusses privatization. No, it fucking doesn't. Superpower trade war. Ah, fuck. It's just -1 to the fucking budget, just like that. Don't even have a chance to do anything. Fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. International trade war is fucking us over. Just a massive fucking hole in our... let's accept it from... fuck. Shit. Can I take both? Let's cozy up with Arcasia, since we're cozying up with the United Contana on economic policy. Let's cozy up with Arcasia militarily. That will keep us. Look, the economy is getting better. Oh my god, the economy is getting better. Sure, let's accept Arcasian aid. The economy got worse. Why did the economy get worse? I just got money. Shit. The economy was getting better, for fuck's sake. Why did it get worse? Religious Harmony Bill. All sermons conducted on the day of the Ascension ceremony at the Arch Sanctuary henceforth be held in the Swordish language. This move is aimed at language of sermons across Sorland prohibits use of bloodage. Veto. People must have their religious freedom. Did that make the economy worse? Fuck you. Oh. Private party. Ah, I cannot deal with drunk Peter right now. And I cannot deal with Lancia right now. So I will leave that for the next episode. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, I have been Pope. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.